And we're back. Clary, long time no see, huh?
Man, soon. So you got StreamYard allows you to have kind of like 3 or 4 clips that you can use as an intro. So if you
Yeah,
just develop like an MP4, you make a little movie file and you upload it and you just click that and that goes live.
I think I'll do it, and I'll start out by going, "Howdy, lieutenants and economists," with the guy pouring whiskey, lighting up a cigar.
Right. That might what I don't know. I'm thinking somewhere in between that and Ticket to the Limit with Fresh and Fit, something in between. Or something really funny and goofy like Benny Hill, have a bunch of girls in bikinis, like, accounting is fun. Like
The
there'd be a
CPA
little,
girls.
the CPA girls, sure,
CPA
singing a
girls.
song. The CPA, they all got the green brim hats and matching, a D and C on each cup saying debits and credits. Uh,
Well, as I always do on my show, the beer of the evening, at least the first one, this is Lagunitas Maximus. It's a double IPA, 9% Clary, and I got an empty stomach. I received some feedback that people seem to like it when I drink a lot because it makes me more
yeah,
loquacious. So,
yeah, that is not an uncommon formula. Plus, alcohol usually increases the entertainment value a little bit.
well, here we go. I've never had this one, but 9.0% is not a trivial percentage there.
You're
So,
talking to a guy who drank Rumplemints. Like that's 50% alcohol. And you even drank Rumplemints.
oh,
So I
yes, I
mean,
did.
yes, you did, and we had a good time.
Cuddlebooks even had some rumplements.
Yeah, that didn't
um,
improve her personality
or
at all.
looks.
No, or
Um,
looks.
so what have you been doing
Well,
since?
are you pouring? Are you going to show the can?
Oh,
Come
sure,
on, people don't know it. There you go. Need to see something. Lagunitas Maximus. It's got a dog.
dog. And again,
Well,
Lagunitas is from California, but I won't hold that against them.
you're not the only one who's going to crack open something here.
Hmm?
I would like to show you
Rooster Booster Light,
Rooster Booster Light.
dude. It's
Not
not
got.
too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's not too late in the day for that, or
No, dude, it's 5 o'clock out here, and I gotta stay up late. And I've been waking up at 5:30 a.m. after daylight savings time.
I noticed this morning.
It's just so I'm gonna try and push myself to midnight tonight. I'm gonna take a sleeping pill. I ain't waking up until 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. I need to get back to normal where like the sun is out and I don't see the sun rising and that. So I'm gonna go and do this and enjoy it.
Cheers. Mm. I need to start with this comment
Mm.
from Project Gone. Is Chad wearing a shirt with another man's name on it? Clary may have an
Oh.
opinion. So I am. Why am I wearing this shirt? Do you know what jersey this is, Clary?
I
This
can't see it. Is it Astros? You got the comment in the
Astros.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did I wear that today?
Well, they've always been your baseball team.
Yeah, I don't really
But they
follow.
won. Did they win the World Series?
They did win the World
They did.
Series,
All right.
and not that I really cared that much, but one fun thing about when I'm back in town here,
Mm.
people despise the Astros. So I was walking
Really?
around. Yeah,
Did they
it's
beat the Cubs at some point in time at a critical game?
it's just the way the sports ball fans work in Chicago, and I hate this, is that they are such homers that like if you don't root for the local teams,
Yeah.
they're such like shit talkers. They're just like, oh fuck you, they
Well,
hate.
why do they hate Houston more than others?
Oh, because there was some kind of cheating scandal a few years
Oh,
ago.
with Houston, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. Okay,
So, I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I did walk around in this after I went to the gym and I went and showered and I went to go vote because I voted for what it's worth. I went ahead and
you
just
voted,
wasted
so
my
now you can
time.
not only can you complain, but guess what else you can do?
I can say I did my part
You can collect all the government money in the world because
for
you
voting.
voted against it. You were not, and then if society wants to vote in to give other people's money, you said nope. I stopped that. But now that these are the rules we're playing by, I'm going to take as much money as I can. Though I don't think you qualify for any.
No, I certainly wouldn't. I mean,
Right.
uh, so did you end up voting today? I think you
Hell
said you were going
yeah,
to. Yeah.
absolutely. I vote all the time. I even vote in the primaries.
Mm.
It's the one thing you can do, and even the primaries, you got to make sure the people. It took a lot of research because we're new to the area, and I don't know who these people are, and so you got to look them up. But yeah, I absolutely, I went and voted. I want the Democrat winning the governorship. I want a hot governor. I don't want that fat, pasty white guy with a beard and probably kids in his basement tied up and chained down. So no, I
Do
want
you know what our governor looks like?
Yeah, he's even fatter, and he's a trust fund kid. Yeah,
So we
yeah.
got Beetlejuice running the city, and that fat
Mhm.
motherfucker who's never going to get voted out running the state. It's
You
just
know who
horrible.
deserves? You know who deserves it?
Who?
All of Illinois and Chicago. They're going to get
Uh,
exactly what they deserve.
oh,
Exactly what
that.
they deserve.
Oh, Clary, look who's in the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at him. He's like all anti-voting. Oh, the statist voted today. We gonna change the world. Change. I think the great one being ex-military will know what a rear guard action is. I think that's what it's called. That's the main reason I vote, is to provide a rear guard retreat to slow things down, so that I that the electricity is on long enough that I can get out of here if I need to.
Great one. I did go to the gym today, and I was listening to the stream you dropped either yesterday or today, but I listened to it today while I was pumping iron. So that's some good stuff
He,
there.
did you hear his stories when he went back to Fort Collins?
Yeah, I think so. Was this where he was getting into debate with his friends or something, and
There
they
was
were
that, but
idiots?
then also his friend Rachel, who is fat, he talked about on his podcast where the husband says, "I'm not sleeping with you anymore. You're fat," and she's like, "Oh, this is a problem now." It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it is. So, but I get a kick out of like, oh, is this a problem? Like, you wait till it's the guy's like, no, I don't want to touch you anymore. You know, like, how long do you wait? Like, when you girls realize, yeah, you don't care, whatever.
Well, I'll just tell you a quick story about, the candidate.
Hmm.
She's always said this, and, it's not an issue, and it's probably never gonna be an issue. She's like, "You have to swear to God that if I'm ever gaining weight, if I'm getting fat, you have to tell me."
Yeah, because
I'm
she
like,
cares.
"Yeah, she cares
Yes,
and
she
works
does.
out. We work out together." I mean,
Yep.
that's a really good quality, but it begs the question, and I wanted to ask you this.
Hmm.
Is there really any, good way to tell a woman that she's gaining weight? Like, she's not.
Yes, there
Is there?
there is. There is. Okay. Would you like to play the role of the girl, and I'll play the role of the guy who's diplomatically and adroitly trying to tell her that she's
Sure.
gaining weight? You're getting fat, and if you don't lose the weight, I'm going to leave you. That is the best way to tell a girl that she's losing weight or she's getting fat.
I think the great one approves.
Yes, it is. There's let me put it to you this way. Whose fault is it that the girl got fat?
Well, it's no one else's fault but hers, obviously.
Okay. Is that critical and important to a relationship? Physical fitness.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely.
Who is at fault then for putting the relationship and the counterparty then at risk in an uncomfortable position?
Well, that is I mean, do you mean that in the grand scheme of things or more
Oh, or
literally?
the party who got fat. Like
Okay,
the
well, the girl.
whole I have no problems if people get fat, male or female. You have every right to say, "You're fat. If you don't lose the weight, I'm leaving or you're going away." Because the whole idea of romantic relationships anyway is that there is physical attraction. And both men and women get overweight. Women tend to do it a little bit more than men. And it's the crying, and then it's like, no, you're evil. You lied. This is essentially a lie. We got together under the premise that you would maintain at least some physical shape. Now you got fat, and now it's like, so there is no, and that's just honest. And it could go either way, but everyone, male or female, they're like too. It's like, no, if the guy gets fat, tell him that you're out of here. Because if there's no sex, there's no sexual attraction, there's no relationship, none.
Right.
It's just,
Agreed.
well, then you're roommates, and hang on, what percentage of marriages are dead bedrooms?
Also, K Dan, I see you in the chat. I'd be curious, your take on that, like how a woman should be told she's fat, directly or
Um,
not.
15%.
Great one.
That's what they estimate.
Patriarchy's fault.
15. Yeah, yeah, no, it's just it's lazy people's fault. That's what it is.
Mhm.
That's what it is. So you're the candidate is acutely aware of that and has made aims to make sure, as have you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the first things I remember talking to her about was like, "What do you like to do?" And she's like, "I like to run." I'm like, "Oh, I like to do that too." So,
Is she
there
a
you go.
runner? I didn't know she
Yeah, she
was.
runs. Mhm.
Oh,
She likes to
well,
do it
she
on a
does the
treadmill.
treadmill, right? Oh, yeah, that's right. You go run out in 105 degrees. That's right. I forget about you. Yep.
So, Kate, you're saying I would fat shame myself if I ever didn't have a bikini body, but I think a woman should know this standard. Yeah, I think that's true.
It's everyone knows. People just you get a choice. Do you prefer love or food? I know you got to have a certain amount of food. I'm talking excess amount. It's very simple. Very simple. Everyone
Mhm.
knows. And it just tells you what percentage of the people. It's in one of my books, like one of the introductory chapters, with 70% both men and women being obese or overweight, shows that 70% of people are not serious about relationships. So it's like, okay, and just but don't go on a dating app or something like that or claim you want to meet someone if you're overweight. You're not serious about it. So
One of the things I'm so happy about, at least I've been for the last year and a half, is not having to go on a dating app because do you know what most of the women look like on dating apps,
oh,
Claire?
I've only lived vicariously through you. I can't imagine it's anything. Yeah.
Do you know how
And
they like to misrepresent themselves in their
you've
pictures?
been catfished a couple times.
Oh, more than a
Yeah.
couple times.
Really? How many times
Mhm.
you estimate you've been catfished?
I'd say it's close to double digits because they would use
Really?
they would use pictures. I got caught by the when MySpace angles when they do them from above, so you see ample
Yeah, but
cleavage, or they do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back, this is immediately after Cuddlebooks, so we're talking 4.5 years ago. I was on a streak of, like, getting secret internet fattied, like, constantly, and I'm like, "What the fuck do I have to do?" Because there was just so much deception on these
What
apps.
platform were you on? Was
The
it
ones I
Tinder
used
or
No, I used 2 main ones. I talked about this with Rare on here a month ago.
Mhm.
Uh, One's called Hinge and the other's called Bumble. Bumble's one where the woman has to
woman
message you
chooses you?
first.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So I used those 2. Hinge was the better one, but again, this was 2019, so I don't know
Mhm.
what it's like now.
Dude, they do change year to year. Like there's drastic change and migration or evolution in those. So yeah, I have no idea. I was never on the online dating app. So
You should feel so happy you never had to dredge
I
through that
am. I am.
bullshit.
Well, someone did pay me to go on Tinder to try it and get my opinion. And it
Mhm,
was just a complete waste of time. I didn't charge enough money because you're supposed to go on and swipe and all this other stuff. And I'm looking
mhm.
and I was like, these are horrifically ugly women.
Yeah.
And this is like 4 years ago. So it was thankfully a short experiment. But even there, I was like, this was I got paid to do that. And it was still a waste of my time. It was still a waste of my time.
Hope you got paid a lot to do that.
I got paid enough, but I should have like because I remember like first couple days, I'm like, this is a waste of time. I should have
Mhm,
just done like an hour, like, okay, that's it. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is the selection. It's not gonna change, it's not like, oh, the hot girls show up in the evening and oh, those are the pretty ones. But no,
mhm.
it was just it was confirming to me that online dating it should not be recommended to any of my clients at all.
I would have to agree, and I think pretty much everybody says that. Great one if you're still here. I'm curious if you do that. You mentioned one particular app at one point, but it sounds like you had a bad experience. So,
In fairness to Great One, he does go out and ask out the girls in person
oh, he's
because
got
we
balls
hang
to
out.
do
Yeah,
it.
if you listen
Yeah.
to his podcast, yeah, he'll ask the girls out in person, but it goes back to 1990. Like, oh, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, here's my number, and we should go out sometime, and then ghosting. So, and then that's what makes this podcast so much fun. Is it's like, oh man, Great One strikes out again. All right, all
We had
right.
some story about some gal that lived in Wyoming that was being demanding while being too old to have kids and living at home. So that was
Was that one on the Great Ones podcast most recently?
Yeah, well, no, that was, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, but,
Oh, I'll
yeah,
have to tune into
that I
that
was
one.
running when I listened to that one and laughing, so Um, Clara, the other thing I wanted to mention, so we haven't streamed in a couple weeks. I was telling them I got a new iPhone recently. I don't know if I told you. This is the 14. Uh,
Is it
Long story
shit?
sh it died on me over the weekend, okay? So check this out, dude. You don't have an iPhone, so you don't
I
have to
don't
dig
have
this
Apple.
crap.
No, I don't do Apple.
You guys, I learned something. I learned a lesson a very hard way yesterday, so listen
Mhm.
to me very closely. Don't ever, ever go to the Apple Store without setting up an appointment first. It is a goddamn nightmare. And in the city of Chicago, there's only 2 Apple stores. There's one right
All
downtown.
of Chicago has
All now there's a
2.
couple in the suburbs. I mean, like the city of
Yeah,
Chicago.
but Chicago proper is 8 million people.
Exactly.
Oh
So
my God.
here's the thing. Yeah, great when I have an iPhone. Although after this experience, I don't know how much longer. Everybody from the fucking city is going to one of these 2,
Yeah.
Apple stores.
Yeah.
So you're getting everybody from all over. So can you imagine the cast of characters? I was there for a total of 5 hours yesterday. I had to wait for forever, get them to fix it. Then I come back, they say, "We can't fix it. We're just gonna give you a new iPhone, but stay here and wait so we can transfer everything." I'm just like, "Oh my
So at
fucking
your
god."
rate, you could have just bought a new phone.
Right, and
Yeah.
they totally wasted my time. I was like, "Look, the battery is expanding. Just why don't you just get me a new one? I got it 3 weeks ago." "Oh, no, 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 we have to see if we can fix it first, blah, 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 blah." I'm just like, "Fuck, just give me another one. You're gonna end up giving me another one." And what do? 3 hours later,
They
"Oh, we
give you
have to give
another
you
one.
another one."
Not only did they do that, you know what else they did?
What?
Wasted 3 hours of their own labor.
Yeah, and it's all these, they're all in their, like, 20s and 30s
Yeah.
working there,
Oh,
and
oh,
they
cell phone store. Every once in a while
yeah.
you get a hard worker. Most of them are dumber than shit. I mean, it's you're just this much above like a welfare recipient. And I've never had a good experience at a physical store. They're always trying to upsell you and all this other bullshit. They're scum, they're skis, and they're
Oh,
morons. So yeah.
dude, they were trying to talk me into all this bullshit. I'm like, "You already wasted Clary, I did nothing yesterday. Yesterday was a total waste of my day because of
Mm-hmm.
this. It was horrible. Didn't
Yep.
it's Athen. Hey, Athen, what's up?"
I'm never spending more than $200. I'll never spend more than $200 on a phone again. This phone I got here, it was a Samsung. It certainly was a mid-range one. It wasn't the latest or the highest end one. I think I paid $650 for this because
Yeah,
it was big enough. I
really
remember
nice.
Samsung and the keyboard is shit. The M is not where the M is supposed to be. That's a delete button. The space bar will if you're too close to the period, it's a horrible device. Horrible. And it's got all this shit in it I never asked for. It updates and says, "Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that?" Absolutely not. It's just no. I'm going with the 2, and it doesn't do anything a $200 phone wouldn't have done. So I'm very close to getting a new one. But I may go to the cell phone store here in Rapid City before I go to the one in Vegas, because the one in Vegas was just trash.
So Clary, what do you think of this?
Anthem, can I join you guys? I don't know, like that. Yeah, why not have? I mean, we want to honor your guests, but yeah, let's get
Yeah.
Anthem a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
he'll
get you
wear.
on Anthem,
Yeah,
and
he's gonna wear
eventually
some
I'll
kind
get
of
Parker
ridiculous
on here.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we rarely get Anthem on here. The other thing is in the chat, they're saying that a lot of Android fans in the chat, and they're also
Mhm.
saying that like they probably gave me a refurbished phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did. So
I, I, I don't know how you could be an Android fan. Like, I'm not against Android, but
mhm,
all I want. All I want is a damn thing that works, and apparently that's not possible nowadays. So,
mhm. Um, Atham, I'll send you the link in Facebook. I'll send you that. So, well, Clary, why don't we go ahead and get caught up on some super chats here?
already?
Yeah, because remember, I had
Eh,
tailored this to bring on, my EA kid. I didn't actually plan. We actually have quite a few super chats.
Of course we
So
do. Of course, because it's you. Everybody
no, it's
loves
because you
Raymond.
tweeted. You
Nobody loves
tweeted that you would.
Cappy.
You tweeted and said you would be on, so everyone rushed to come on here.
Everyone rushed here to give you lots of money, so I only get half. That's why they did it. That's why they
This
did it.
first one you can't see because they did it 2 days ago, and for some reason it doesn't show up. It's just
Oh,
one. It's from Arturo Galindo, and he says, "Thoughts on the new 2024 CPA exam under the CPA Evolution Initiative," which is a stupid name. "What is your take on it and the impact it could have on future CPA candidates?" So you probably don't know what this is, right? It's
no, it sounds like here's what I'm going to guess, and you tell me if I'm anywhere in the ballpark. We cannot merely fix a problem or develop a test or any kind of creation or innovation and just let it be when it does its job. We always have to constantly be improving. And so there's some fuckwit at the CPA Society or the CPA board, it says we need to keep doing something. And so now evolution indicates it's like ad hoc job duties. It's a catch-all. So they're going to add a bunch of shit that really doesn't have anything to do with accounting, but they're going to test you on perhaps ethics, probably diversity and inclusion. That's why I'm fearing that's going.
I'm going to read you real quick what it is. It's not long. I'm just on the
Okay,
website. I
all
think
right,
they
I'm
can
ready.
explain it the best. Okay. This is so. NASBA and the AICPA carefully reviewed all of the feedback received, studied other professions' licensure models, and considered multiple options for updates to the licensure model before developing the below approach, which we expect to launch in 2024. We believe this approach is responsive to stakeholder input and propels the profession into the future. Basically, what they're saying, and I won't bother reading you all this bullshit. What they're saying is that they got information from public accounting firms and then from colleges. They are recognizing that there's, and yeah, I've talked about this, there's a severe shortage of people majoring in accounting
Oh,
because
okay.
the
All right.
exams are too hard and cumbersome. So without going into this, they're trying to make it easier.
To
Okay.
become a CPA.
They're trying to make it just a touch easier to become a CPA. Now, I did review this, and it's not, you still have to work your ass off, but they're
Mhm.
eliminating some components to it that used to be harder, so to speak. So,
Like the master's degree that is completely unnecessary.
no, well, that's what they
Oh, we're gonna
freaking
keep
should
that.
do. That's what they
Oh,
should do. Yeah. But it's for the it's for the, exams themselves, and, basically, they're trying to actually, believe it or not, parts of this are positive. They're trying to incorporate more actual practical things you need to know instead of just textbook type stuff.
right.
So to answer the gentleman's question, I actually think I know that current CPA candidates are going to be pissed off that they suddenly have to switch their studies to like this new model. But for everybody that starts this in 2024 later, I actually think this is a good thing. So
Mm.
believe it or not, I'm actually kind of in support of this because they're at least
Yeah, no,
trying.
they're going the right way, but
Yeah.
and perhaps I'm too efficient, or I don't know, bull in a china shop. Get rid of the master's requirement.
Ooh, that's what I said.
You should have no educational requirement. None. You
I
should be able to just
absolutely agree.
take the exam. If you could pass the exam, here's your CPA. That means you studied it, you passed the CPA exam. What does the CPA Society or the Professional Certification Board care how you arrive to get the knowledge and the wisdom to pass the CPA exam, whether you went to college or whether it was self-study? But they're not,
No,
that stuff is, all right, fine. Don't listen to me. But there's going to be a continued shortage. Yes.
yes, although this is at least maybe a first step to try to remedy that, but they do have to get rid of that master's requirement. They have to do it because no one's going to bother. You can make more money in other professions.
That
So,
just so in case CPA society type of people and accounting hiring people, uh, just so you know, they are having a teacher shortage because the generation of kids are even too lazy to get a 4-year degree in education. And so if you think that we're going to increase our standards forever and ever up into the stratosphere, people are lying flat. They're retired. They're not doing it. They're just not going to do it. And so and this has been a criticism I've had over the overall economy. You should stop making it so hard to work. You
yes.
just stop, get rid of college requirements, put in some training programs, and you know what? You're going to find the labor you need. But until you get rid of college, essentially, and ludicrous testing standard, you're going to have a shortage. You are, and too bad for you.
You weren't there for this. It was about 3 or 4 shows ago I did. I lit into this, man. Like I got drunk and was just like, they need to fucking change this and that and everything. It's a pretty good episode. This is a good comment. So yeah, they are emphasizing computers more theoretically by changing it. That's kind of a good thing because, meaning you have to know more about how to actually use, technology to
Who
be a
doesn't know how to
CPA.
use a computer?
Old people, but that's why they're making the test easier because young people actually know how to do this shit. And also, Harvey, you bring up a really good point here. More CPAs equals less money for us. They should be making it at least as difficult or harder to pass the exams. What do you?
You're right, and I'm all pro because the GF is an accountant, and I'm all for her making more money, and they can't find it. And she's a good accountant, right? I
Yes.
mean, she has to turn away work just like you. So in that way, I'm for it, but for a larger ethical, societal, like, look, do you want accountants or not? The trade's kind of got the same problem. You got all these hurdles to become a plumber. It's like after a while, you're just not going to have enough. Okay, good. And then your accountants are making $1,000 an hour, but meanwhile, no one's getting their taxes done and society falls apart. So yeah, in an individual case, I'm all for it because you and the GF make more money. But I mean, generally, and you're for this, you're like, could you just please make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, and it's like Harvey says, man, I'm turning work away like daily, and my rates
Mhm.
have gone up, my hourly rates gone up, prep fees have gone up. That's fine. Life is good for me. I got no complaints. I'm just trying to think, more big picture here. You got to have more of us out here because there's people that actually need help, and I can't help them.
Yeah,
So
but they if they want to have these insane educational requirements, I mean, Harvey, he's the IRS. They got problems hiring and finding enough CPAs. But it's not our responsibility. It's employers' responsibility and trade industry or industry trade organizations like the CPA Society. It's up to you guys. I don't care. I really don't care. It would start helping if PricewaterhouseCoopers and Libran and the Big Four and all the other finance firms, you knocked it off with the Masters Preferred.
they need
But
to get rid of that
yeah,
fifth year of schooling. That's just so idiotic. But yeah. Let's see. We got a bunch of super chats here. Scroll on up. Man, you guys came out tonight.
do we get a lot?
At least in volume.
Wow. Dung is fun for $2. Does being a CPA get the girl suck?
No.
Doesn't.
Despite what you were saying earlier, being a CPA does not get the girls. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own firm, some
Still
girls
don't get the
actually
girls.
like that.
Really?
Some girls
Oh,
thought that was cool. They kind of liked
okay.
that I set my own hours, and I could work from anywhere. So
Did you get laid?
not by being a CPA, but it was just the
Okay, or
concept of,
being an entrepreneur. I guess entrepreneur is sexier than being a CPA.
it's better to be an entrepreneur than a CPA. I just happen to have to combine the two.
Right.
And by the way, just to remind you guys, I am going to you don't have to get a CPA to do what I do. I'm going to talk more about the enrolled agent certification later in the show. So, all right, Dre.
Nonstop Dre, the man with the magically blessed black penis. For $2, did your wife give you permission to drink that shit?
The candidate met Dre and gave him a ride home.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys got to meet Dre. I haven't yet. So.
Dre, I'll be back in a week and I'll be there for 10 days. So we should hang out soon. Soon. Next one.
Chuck Thompson, $2. Chad and Cappy, are you both riding with Biden?
I can't imagine why you would think that either of us would ever begin to
have
do
jobs.
something.
We pay our taxes. We're not parasites. I haven't paid attention to any of the exiting polling or anything.
Me neither.
Have you? Yeah, I
No,
don't care.
dude,
It's
I
gonna
don't
be what
care.
it's gonna be. Yeah.
I almost feel dumb for voting today, but I did do it.
No,
so.
you have. That's now you did the right thing, and now you're good to go.
I'll just tell you real quick, dude. They have this thing in Illinois where you have to. You're not voting for a judge. You just have to say yes or no if they should stay, as judges.
Right.
How do you think? How do you think I don't know anything about these judges? How do you think
Well,
I
you said
handled
no.
that?
Yeah, you said no.
I said no to all of them, dude. There were 61 of them.
Yeah.
I just put no.
Who's going to replace them? See, that's the whole thing.
I don't care. I'm not going to be here much longer. I just wanted to be negative.
What is the real problem about Chicago politics? What is the core problem?
The leaders, everybody votes for the same fucking idiots.
The people.
Yes, the people. Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
That's why you should leave. It's just like the public schools. You should leave. You should be homeschooled or teach yourself. Just get out of the public schools. Just get out of Chicago.
Don't even get me started on the initiative they had for Chicago public schools. Good Lord.
I'm sure that money will help. They'll solve all the problems.
Oh, yeah, because teachers' unions actually do care about the children.
Teachers' unions are scum. All right, what else we got? Rare. Is this Rerb or Rob?
No, that's not Rerb.
It's just Rob. $5. I am upset Phillies fans giving away my money I earned working a tax job in public accounting to an Astro fans.
Well, Rob, I'll call you Rare, and I mean that in an endearing term. Thank you for the super chat. I'll just full disclosure, I did not watch the World Series. I've really just tried not to be as much of a sports ball fan, which Clary, you should be impressed about.
Very proud. I remember when it was a problem.
Yeah, but the older I get, I'm just like, who cares, right?
Mhm.
I'll say this, Rob, the Phillies fans that I have met, so it's the Philadelphia Phillies, Clary.
Mhm.
The Phillies
I'm
fans
aware.
I've met,
Yes, the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah, I've been around the
just
block
making
a little
sure.
bit.
They've all been really nice, despite some reputation that Philadelphia sports fans have. The Phillies fans I met were all really cool. So thank you for the super chat.
Hmm.
What else?
Eric Burns Marsh, $2. Chad, another reason to leave Chirac.
Yes, I have about 1,001 reasons to leave Chirac at this point, and it's happening when, Clary? When is it happening?
When you're moving?
Yeah, use my favorite word.
Soon.
Soon. After tax season, probably.
Is your rent Ulysses Vasquez. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, me
Okay.
neither.
Yeah. I was gonna say, are you month to month rent on your apartment?
No, my loose plan, so the lease is up at the end of June. So kind of my loose plan was to go ahead and get through tax. I mean, I'll be down, at the Southern Command throughout
Yeah.
most or all of tax season anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But like I will transition right after tax season ends. So, late April, May, June, I'll work my way down there and then I'll just be fully moved out by the time the lease is done. So that's kind of my loose plan, but I'll talk to the candidate about
Is the candidate going to have to drive the U-Haul because you're a little unsure, you're a little out
I'm
of
getting rid of
practice there?
everything, dude. I'm getting rid of
You don't have
everything.
anything to get rid of.
Thank you for stating my point
Okay.
eloquently. Ulysses.
Vasquez for $2. Hi, Cappy. Just wrote a Republican like you in California. Well, good for you. Good for you. A libertarian is also acceptable, but I usually vote Republican, so it's not to split the vote.
They did have a bunch of libertarians on the ballot, but I voted for the Republicans instead because I was like, obviously the libertarians aren't going to win, so I might as well.
Neither are the Republicans, so
Well, not here.
Yeah, no. Eric Burns Marsh, $10. Off topic question for Cappy. How do I convince a Wyoming, South Dakota dealership that I need the 95,000 service, even though the odometer is 88,000? When I lived in Northern Virginia, I often hit the 6-month interval before the 5. Huh? I don't, even though the odometer is 88K, I don't think you need to. Why would you do it before it's due? If it's, there's two things that go on the car, or two reasons things go on the car: wear or age. And some things are how many years, like at this year you fixed this thing in the car because the gasket's going out or whatever. But there's other stuff that's just perfectly fine and you need to drive it a certain amount of mileage before it needs to be repaired. I don't know why you would go in and have the dealership do it. I would do it in advance, like if you're at 95, 92,000 miles, set up the appointment. But I don't know why you would do it this early.
I know nothing about this, so.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd take it to a Wyoming or South Dakota dealership. I would go something, not necessarily East Coast, but a place where there's more cosmopolitan or more intelligent people. You don't want Jessup working on your car. I went through a nightmare getting my vehicles fixed. So I would kind of eschew Wyoming and South Dakota and see like St. Louis, Kansas City, somewhere there's a major metro. See if you can get it in there.
Great one had this response.
Cappy has been around the block. That's how he got all the STDs. Yes. Yep. So got tons of STDs. United Fruitcake Outlet, $5. Chad, I was late watching both the Dick and Karen and the Australia shows. Can I get a discount on the super chat? Could you write the super chat for me? What's the Dick and Karen and Australian show?
Oh, you missed my last stream. I had to fire a client last week, and I actually told the whole story on my show last Tuesday.
Yeah. I think it was okay. Yeah, Dick and Karen, right? And she reported the wrong amount of capital gains.
Well, this was different. She did not pay. Clary, what do you like to do early every year? Even though I tell you not to, what's one thing you pride yourself on?
Organizing the receipts right now as we speak. I got the table all cleared out. I like to get my taxes done early.
But what else? You pay something way earlier than
I pay my estimated taxes early.
This person that he's referring to who moved to Australia didn't do it at all, despite my explicit instructions to do it. got owed a ton of money, at the end of the filing season, meaning October 17th, waited until then, got hit with a big penalty and fine despite my
It's your
warnings.
fault. That's your fault,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So in last week's show, I was going through the exchange we had. It got kind of ugly, dude. So she's like, "Give me a refund." I'm like, "Fuck you." And yeah.
Was it a girl or a guy?
It was a girl, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
who's Dick then? Dick and Karen?
That was the week before. When I was,
Oh,
no,
okay.
that actually, Claire, that was the stream we did when I was telling you
Yeah,
the
yeah,
story
that's what I
about
was
that
thinking.
couple.
Okay, all
That
right.
was the other one. Yeah, there's been a
so
few.
many clients you're firing. I can't keep up with them all.
And there's gonna be more.
Good. Rerb for $5. Chad is moving out of Chicago as the new Chad is getting rid of his bad clients. Boy,
Yeah.
Rob, you got to refund him that. He got you good. There's no way he could give you money for that. He got you good on that. That's good.
Well, I just got to say, I think 2023 may be my year. There's going to be some positive
Okay.
changes.
Sure. All right.
No, man, whatever nice guy I had left is gone after this past tax season.
Remember last year when you said whatever nice guy is left in me is gone? Remember that last year when you said that?
So
no more Mr. Nice Guy?
Two key differences between this year and that year. The first one was that, remember, they kept extending the tax season and they did it, last year. So I was less like, there was less of this bullshit that I dealt with this year. Second thing was I was not at a point where I was like, I'm going to leave and I actually have a place to go last year. Now I'm leaving and have a place to go. So we're in a totally different spot than we are a year ago. Yeah. No, but Rob, you're right. I need to put my money where my mouth is, and you're right to call me out on this. And if there was a way I could refund you, I would.
So Rob, November 8th, 2023, when we're here again, and Chad's still in the same apartment complaining about clients. Just let's remember this. Just save the YouTube video right here and then send it to us. We'll watch it again. I'll split it. We'll edit it, put it up on YouTube.
That would mean my channel still exists, and I would love that. All right.
Eric Burns Marsh, $2. Chad, how much can one make with QuickBooks certification?
So that means that you're going to do bookkeeping, and most bookkeepers can charge. This is in the Chicagoland area. Most bookkeepers can charge between $55 and $70 an hour. Claire, I even talked to your GF about this one time.
Did you have another one? Did you have another client for her?
I did if she wants it.
She does not want it.
I figured, yeah, she's got enough. She's got enough going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think. We got a good one here.
Chase Robidoux, $10. Just registered to take the exams. Any recommendation on the order I should take the exams?
Yes, actually, I do. So Chase, I don't know if you heard. I guess it was about 10, 15 minutes ago. They are changing the format and the structure of the CPA exams now with the material. What you want to do is you really, really, really want to get the two biggest ones out of the way. So, Clary, there's 4 CPA exams. There's financial regulation, which is tax, audit, and BEC, which is just business in general. Take the financial accounting and the tax, the reg first. You got to get them out of the way, dude, because when they change the format of those, they're actually going to be more of a pain in the ass with this new initiative. Get the hardest out of the way. I wouldn't have said that, like a year ago before I knew they were changing this format. So yeah, do the heaviest first.
Okay. Red Hawk, $5. Elkins Accounting Hour, episode 74. Guys, I'm thinking about leaving Chicago. Yeah, that would be, yep. Just Red Hawk, save it. Just remind me. I'm going to make my own notes, but in case I forget, want everybody to remind me.
He even did the math right. That's probably the episode I'd be on in about a year. So
yeah. Well, and then your candidate is certainly going to remember this.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have I'm going to have the GF. We're all going to be like, hey, you remember that time? Those are good times.
So is Mr. Texas. So all right. Well, Clary, if you're up for hanging around, I'd like to bring Parker on because I wanted
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll give you the background and everything. So before I bring him on, you guys, Parker here reached out to me is probably a couple of months ago. And he said, I'm interested in becoming an enrolled agent. Can you give me some guidance? And I did. I set up a Zoom with him. We talked about it. I basically was an asshole consultant for him, but I did it, via Zoom. And he has actually made some serious progress with this. And because I'm constantly getting emails that are like, what about this with the EA? What about that? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going to bring on someone who's actually going through it and has already taken the exams and gotten the study materials, et cetera, et cetera. So before I bring him on, Clary, do you remember what an enrolled agent is? I'm just going to briefly
Well, hang
refresh.
on. Before you bring them on, do you remember what a professional podcaster is?
No.
What are we doing right now that is not professional?
Oh, you just say what it is. You don't
No, no, no,
say
no,
you're going
no,
to say what
no,
it
no.
is.
It's staring us right in the face. There we go. Okay, you were
Okay.
saying professional podcaster. What was this about the enrolled agent thing?
Say it. Don't say you're going to say it. Okay. First of all, Clary and I did an episode about this. It was episode number 4. So, and I've linked that in the description if you want to know what an EA is. We had a great stream. It was one of our first on this channel. But, well, Clary, do you remember what it is, or
Well, an
just
enrolled agent is a guy or a
yeah,
gal that could sign off on the taxes
correct.
and can represent you in front of the IRS as well.
Yes,
Correct? Yeah.
yes, and that's
Okay. Yeah.
big. That's
Yeah.
big. Rather than just go through all this, I'm just going to read a few sentences from the IRS website. Quote, an enrolled agent is a person who has earned the privilege of representing taxpayers before the Internal Revenue Service by either passing a 3-part comprehensive IRS test covering individual and business tax returns or through experience as a former IRS employee. Enrolled agent status is the highest credential the IRS awards. Individuals who obtain this elite status must adhere to the ethical standards and complete 72 hours of continuing professional education courses every 3 years. The reason I was doing this is because I don't like how the IRS tries to make it sound like they're
Blows itself.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of blowing themselves, but just a few more points. This is huge. You guys don't have to have a degree to do this. You don't have to have a college degree. That's big, right? And
Huge.
I think it's huge. The other thing is that, just like it said, to become an EA, and this is the vast majority of people do it this way, including Parker's on his way. You just have to pass 3 parts of or 3. It's 3 exams, but they say 3 parts of an exam. So you just have to do these 3 exams, and
Mhm.
then you're an EA. And all you have to the last thing is you just have to get a PTIN, and that costs you $35 a year. So you're not paying for a degree, you're just paying for study materials and the tests themselves, and that's it.
What does a enrolled agent make on average per hour?
So that if you're an enrolled agent, I suppose you could do bookkeeping and things like that, but most of them just do tax prep. So they either
Right.
work like
What does the average EA make?
it's hard to answer that because if they're working for H&R Block or another accounting firm, they're making less than a CPA, but they're making more than a bookkeeper.
Better question.
Yeah.
What does H&R Block bill their enrolled agents out at?
Ooh, that is a fantastic
Because if
question.
you just go work for yourself, you don't have H&R Block doing it for you. So are we talking the $40, $50 an hour range?
I would say higher than that. I would say 75 to 100 when
Really?
they're working on taxes. When they're working on
When they're
taxes.
working on taxes, of
Yeah.
course. Okay.
Yeah. Like the way I see enrolled agents is that you're actually, this is not disrespecting bookkeepers or anything, but it's a bit of a step up from a bookkeeper because, honestly, anybody can become QuickBooks certified. No offense to who asked that earlier. I think it was Eric Burnsmarsh. He's already a CPA though. Anybody can be a bookkeeper. You just have to learn how to do QuickBooks and some basics in accounting. But not everybody can be very good at doing tax returns, and of course, almost nobody can represent you before the IRS. Clary, what are if you're not an EA, what are the 2 other professions that can represent people before the IRS?
Well, CPA, obviously.
Yes, one more.
CFA or a
Nah,
lawyer?
an attorney. If you're
Tax
a tax
attorney.
accountant,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And what obviously both of those have in common is that you have to have advanced degrees for those and go through years of schooling. So an EA is an excellent certification to get.
I just wanted to point out to everyone listening, well, you can go to school for 4 or 5 years, or you can study for the enrolled agent course, which you could do that for summer hardcore studying. And in 3 months, no cost except for taking the test. Now you're looking at entry level, $35, $40 an hour if you get your own client base.
I think you can do better than that,
Okay.
actually.
All right.
I really do. I think you can. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring Parker on. So let's add him to the stream. Parker, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right.
Wow. You
What's
know
up?
what? No, it's like he's like destined to be a great CPA like you because he's got an echoey, shitty audio and he's got a white background. It's like it's the future Chad right here.
Well, we obviously are modeling ourselves after your wonderful guidance from your early dude. I remember when you used to sit in your backyard in the Twin Cities, and you would sit there and light up a cigar, and you'd be like, "I am the state," and we couldn't hear anything because you had the birds and the wind and everything.
10, 12 years ago when technology was what it was. Right. That's all right. Parker, you're well on your way to become a great CPA. The first step, echoey room. Second step, white background. Perfect.
All right. Well, he's in a state you would love to hang out in right now. I'll say that. Parker, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your background?
So 20 years old, got out of the Army about a year ago. I was an electrician for a little while down in Texas. And then after finding you discovering you saying all the EA stuff, it really got me thinking about it. So I started doing it a little bit after our Zoom call, or a little bit before actually. I started reading about it, and then just kept going, and now I'm here.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, just for my own curiosity. Did you find me organically, like you typed in EA or CPA? You probably found me through Clary, though, right?
Yeah, no, I found you guys through Clary. And
everybody does.
You didn't search echoey white room? Okay.
I'll tell my mom her office has an echo.
Well, actually, tell it. Where do you live? He's visiting. He's out of town right now. Where do you normally live, Parker?
In Houston, Texas.
In Houston. Yep.
I heard some big guys on steroids swung sticks at Sears really good there and
swingy
hit
stick.
It over. Swing. I heard much merriment was had a couple weeks ago.
So you were an electrician, you said, but when you got out of the Army, you were an electrician. What was it that drew you to being interested in becoming an EA, or doing like tax work, or just sort of pivoting from what you were doing a few months ago?
Well, it was about 140 degrees in an attic, and I was up there for about 30 minutes, and I was like, I think I could be doing something else. And yeah. So that was the big thing.
The other thing is because I remember I was asking you about this. You were telling me that your hours, like you were kind of on call in a sense, right? Or you had you were working weekends and crazy hours.
Yeah, so we'd get paid to go out to the job, but we wouldn't get paid on the way back. But sometimes he'd send us 3 or 4 hours out. So.
Were you an apprentice at the time, or were you journeyman licensed? What were you?
No, apprentice.
You were an apprentice. All right, yeah. So you're in. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks. No.
And Parker, as much as you're comfortable sharing, how did you feel about the pay? I don't think you were too satisfied with it.
No, so Texas is notorious for pretty low in the trades, especially in certain areas. And Houston is definitely one of them. It's just because there's so many people down there that can do it. You just get, labor prices get drawn down.
Jeez, you would think they'd have a shortage of people that are able to do trades. So that's interesting. Well, I could look this up, but do you remember how long ago you kind of made this decision? I remember it was a couple months ago we had our session and we were talking about it.
Yeah. So, I actually bought the book that I used to study early in June or July. I think it was July.
Okay.
And I took the test in beginning of October.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask you some questions about that, because this is where you can really help people, because a lot of people, even some in the chat here, they kind of want to do what you're already doing. Like they want to pursue this path. And they were asking me what study materials should I get? How hard are the exams? And honestly, I have no idea. That's why I was like, I got to bring you on, because you're already doing this and you're going through it, and you passed that first test, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, there's a lot of different study material out there, and everybody has their goods and their bads about each one of them. The one I used was Passkey, this big blue book, part 1. Gleam was recommended to me. I didn't do it just because it was a bit more expensive, but I hear they are really good as well. But I mean, I think it worked really well for me.
That was actually my next question. Was it reasonable what you had to pay for the study materials, or
Yeah, so this book, and then I think all of them, they're right at like $100. I got them from
that's not
Amazon.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Gleam is like $250 to $300 for all their training stuff.
So they also offer CPA study material. I used Becker, but I got lucky because I was working in public accounting at the time, and they covered all that. But like, it's like Gleam and some of the others at Becker, they're just really, really, really expensive. And
Mhm.
so I'm glad you found an alternative. And that was one thing I was concerned about when I remember we were talking. I'm like, I don't really know how much you're going to have to spend on the study materials. It could be pricey. So I'm glad you found a good alternative. Did you find it on just like message boards, or where did you
Yeah,
find
just Amazon looking at different things.
it? Mhm.
Another good thing that Passkey has is they have an online uh, like study area. So they offer the same things on as their books as like video walkthroughs. So
Mhm.
they're sitting there like kind of lecturing it to you, and then
Mhm.
they have practice tests and practice exams. They have
Okay.
flashcards, stuff like that on their website.
And go ahead, Clary. Did you
Well, I
have
was going to ask if it wasn't in the book, or if it maybe you want further clarification, how much material is out on the internet if you wanted to search and do like follow-up study that way on YouTube, or just people in general who've put content up about passing the EA exam?
There's a good amount. There was a YouTuber that I found. Her main business is like she did it a while ago, and then she put a lot of stuff. It wasn't no more so the test. It was more so like the business side of it.
Okay. And so I kind of spoiled it because you did pass the first exam. I was going to be like, and how did it go? What tell us some more about, because you were working while this was going on. So I was wondering, like, when you studied, how much you studied. Did you feel like you overstudied? Did you feel like you studied just enough?
No, definitely wouldn't say I overstudied.
Okay.
I felt really good in it.
Hmm.
Uh, but no, so when I was working, it was I get home and I just read until I wasn't retaining the information. Some days it was a little longer, some days it wasn't. And then weekends, I'd sit outside, read, and then maybe read for an hour, take a 20-minute break, read for another
Okay.
hour, or I'd play video games for 30 minutes, read for 30 minutes, play video games for 30 minutes, read for 30 minutes. So I'm still doing both, and I'm not feeling left out or not falling behind on studying, but I don't burn out and I can get more in through the day. That was
Did,
something I found it really helped me.
did you have equally good studying habits when you were younger,
No,
like in school? No. All right. So
no.
this was like self-discipline, relatively new, kind of logical study schedule.
Yeah, pretty much. Like in school, I didn't really study a lot, just for most of the things I just knew or I knew well enough, and like I always did A's and B's, so I didn't really ever study.
So the study material, it kept you engaged enough that you didn't just want to like poke your eyeballs out. They put it in that format.
Oh no, don't get me wrong, it's boring.
I was gonna
It
say.
it is boring, but that's why I would read for a bit and then I'd take a break because I didn't want to get to that point and just completely burn myself out.
Hmm.
And it is a huge volume of information
Oh yeah.
that is complex, and certain things apply here but it don't apply here, and it's kind of a lot, especially with somebody like myself that has no experience coming into this. I
Hmm.
don't have those lessons learned out on the job, so I'm just getting them just from the book.
Okay.
What when you started studying, how quickly did the girls show up? Was it
Oh, immediately.
immediate? Did they smell it?
Oh yeah,
Did
no
they
doubt.
look at you different? Did they ask you, Parker, you look different today? What was it? It was immediate then. Okay. I just
Oh yeah.
want to know from 0 to the girls how quickly, and you're saying 0.2 seconds.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. All right.
Or
Good.
point
Good.
one actually. Like,
Boy, that's
Well, this is a I was not expecting a comment like this. Jeremiah says that he's a journeyman electrician and he's interested in doing the EA thing. So, see, man, this is why I wanted to have you on here. Like, a lot of people may be thinking the same thing.
yeah, for sure.
So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, but there are 3 exams in total.
Mhm.
Okay, and you just passed the first one, correct?
Yeah, so the first one is
Okay.
individual, then the second one is business, and then the third is representation. You can take them in any order you want, but most people, do first, second, third. Some
Mhm.
people do first, third, second, but I decided to do first, second, third.
Parker, with the study material you got, do you feel it accurately prepared you? It must have if you passed the first one, so it did do the trick essentially.
Yeah, so once I finished the actual hardcover book, I went
Mhm.
and I got the online subscription and I
Mhm.
was doing the practice test, like the
Mhm.
full on 100 questions practice test. The very first one I took, I did it in 66 minutes and
Mhm.
got 70%. So I felt really good after that. And then I ended up taking it 4 more times. The fifth time I took it, I got like 83%. So I was like, all right, I feel very good about this because the EA test is 100 questions and 15 of them are just they're not graded. So
Throwaway like
the
CPA, yeah.
IRS is just feeling to see like how people do on them, but they
Mhm.
don't grade you on that. So
Yeah.
out of 100, it's actually 85, but you don't know which questions are not graded and which ones are.
Just like the CPA exam. And what percentage do you have to get to pass each exam?
So it's a scoring system. I
Mhm.
think the max is like 150 points, but if you pass, they say you pass, and you need 105 or more to pass. So if
Okay.
you get 104, you'll find out you get 104. Or if you pass, you pass. I could have got 106, or I could have got 155. I have no idea.
That's better 'cause they don't give
Did
you a
you
number.
hang up the pass, give it to your mom, put it on the fridge? Or
Yeah. So
okay.
they give you like in an email, they send you your scores, kind of like how you did in each section, and it's
Mhm.
out of 3. So 3 is the best. Ones are like you're not great at it.
Mhm.
So I got a 3 in the first category and then 2s in all the rest.
Okay, so you
So
did what you had to do.
yeah.
And, when are you scheduled to take, the next section?
So I don't have the next session scheduled yet because I'm
Mhm.
working on H&R Block so I can work for them for this tax season.
That was my next question,
And
actually.
then after that, once I get that, I'm going to start studying the second one. I want to have both of them done by the end of next year for sure.
Is that recommended? You get a little bit of frontline experience with an H&R Block or Liberty Tax Service, because
Yeah.
can you just go and represent people in front of the IRS with the certification, or do you need a couple of years worth?
No, as soon as you have the cert, you can. But
Really? Okay.
yeah, I didn't want to get into a position where I'm doing something I don't know how to do, or I don't have anybody that can help me if I have questions. So I wanted to at least have enough experience so I could trust myself doing it, so I could go and do it for other people. So I'm just getting basic H&R Block, just experience, so I can say I've done them.
Will you? I'm sorry, Chad.
No, I was just gonna say this is I think everybody should do this. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
and
Yeah.
it was
yeah,
recommended to me by Chad.
yeah.
So yeah, I
Do you have?
definitely agreed.
Do you have to go outside and twist the sign around? It says taxes done here on the. Is that part? No.
No,
Okay.
I didn't
All right.
apply for that position.
Okay. All right.
Only the economists do that. We don't make the, tax people do that. Mm. Well, that's great, dude. And when do you start their, program, the H&R Block program?
So I've already been doing it. I did the self-study
Good.
option. So I was just doing it in between like studying for the EA and work. I was going through those. A lot of it I already kind of knew because of the first EA test, but the H&R Block definitely says it tells you a lot of different things, right? So the EA book is a lot of like tax law.
Mhm.
H&R Block is very much the actual tax return. On
Mhm.
1040 line 3, it's this. On
Yeah.
1040 line 4, it's this.
Yep.
So it is a little bit different, but a lot of the information overlaps.
And, Clary, I can't remember if you were on that stream or not, but, this was probably like 4 months ago. I was talking about how if you don't have any tax experience and you just wanna learn to do the basics like Parker is doing, much as
Mm.
I hate to give H&R Block credit, their program is actually really, really good for this, and they will hire you.
Mhm.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere,
Yeah.
and you're gonna start off with 1040 easies or 1040
Yeah.
A's, I'd imagine, and then slowly work your way up. Someone's got a Schedule C or a Schedule E.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I was going to kind of ask with Parker. What is this all going to set you back in terms of cost, like money, not time? I know there's a lot of studying, but what'd you drop? When have you done like from beginning to finish? How much money will have you dropped on this certification?
I mean, it's going to be about $100 a book, so $300 in books. The subscription I have online is $30 a month.
Mm,
So however many months I have that, right
Mm.
now if I have it a year, okay, no biggie. It's because it's a lot of good information and it's the reps for the test, and then it's $185 for each test.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
all in all,
$500 for a test, another $300 for books, or 800, and let's say 400. So we're talking 1,200 roughly.
yeah,
Okay,
maybe,
all right.
not
So
to not to include like gas to get there, because I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
drive
but
2 hours away. But yeah,
yeah, and I'm like, compare that to your average, on the cheap, your average $36,000, college degree with
Yeah.
maybe a job, and no, it's. I wish people would see what you're doing, younger people, and say, "Oh, wait, this is way better and way more efficient way to get employed than going to college and getting all of these degrees instead."
That's what I wanted to get the word out because a lot of people, I mean, I swear, dude, half the emails I get are like, "How can I do what you're doing, but I don't wanna major in accounting or get a CPA?" I'm like, "Go the EA route. This is what you have to do. The demand is there." I mean, Parker, just wanted to verify this because Jeremiah was asking this. Are you were originally doing this while you were working, but now you just kinda stopped for now and you're focusing on this. Is that right?
yeah. Basically, I would go back. I definitely enjoyed, most of the job, and I'd continue to do it, and I'd just work it on the side.
Mhm.
So kind of the Clary two-prong approach.
Yes, absolutely. We had a question about that earlier today. Um, no, that's really good. The only other questions I had, well, I wanted to make sure I asked this one. Was there anything that you found challenging throughout what you've done so far? Like, what was the hardest part, if anything?
Is honestly just the volume of new complex information.
Yeah.
And you're like stressing about like how much is going to be on this test, and
Hmm.
you don't know what it's going to be until you get there. So the Prometric website has like a 6-page document of everything that could be on the test. So the night before, I went through and I took as many notes on everything I possibly could
Hmm.
to try to make sure I was prepared. And if there's anything I didn't know, I went back and redid and re-looked up on, just so I could use everything in my power to be as ready for this as possible.
Awesome.
What everyone has a concept of, yeah, I got to pay taxes and all that, but had you had any experience or concept or understanding of accounting and accounting principles and taxes before you did this, or did you come straight out of the army with electrician background and you're like, you have no idea what you're doing? And if so, was there any kind of like introductory onboarding into the general concepts of accounting and taxes?
So I did come in with like a little bit of a background. My mom's a bookkeeper, so if she ever said anything where I would overhear things in conversation, I would ask her about it. So I would know like a little bit. Plus, when I was in the army, I always did my own taxes. I would help people do their taxes. Like, you get
Nice.
brand new privates who this is the first time they've ever had to pay taxes. They don't know what they're doing. So you go
Hmm.
through, help them walk through. So I had some experience like that, but in the like complex tax forms, no, nothing like this.
Yeah, well, I just, because what I did, a different field, but I went in cold turkey, knowing nothing about computer networking, and that was one of the initial hurdles I had. You had your mom, maybe a little bit of background. You've done it yourself, so obviously it runs in the family. It's genetic. But would you say the material? Let's say you had no idea about it. Should that deter anyone who doesn't understand the first thing about accounting?
No,
From
absolutely
concern?
not.
No. Okay. All right.
It's very simple. Like the it's not worded complex. There's not a lot of like CPA jargon in there. It's just like a lot of stuff, right? there's nothing too overly complex.
Mhm.
And I think what is just echoed there, and Chad said it a million times, you're paid a lot as an accountant or a CPA, not because it's complex, but because it's boring and tedious. And there's a
Yes.
lot of
For
rules.
sure.
I mean, that's really what it is. So
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be going into this profession because like it's intellectually stimulating or deep philosophical stuff you're tackling. It's tedium is what it is.
Yeah.
And Sarah Mahmood in the chat said it above. And you've said
Did she donate money to you?
she
Is this a
didn't,
super chat?
but she said boring equals money. And let's
Right.
face it, that's what it is in the professional world. Boring is how you get paid.
Right. She gave me a super chat though later on in one of my own streams. So now
Oh yeah.
I don't feel so bad. I feel okay now.
Well, Parker, I guess my last question is, do you have any advice to give? Because there's a lot of people in the chat that are saying, and some of them in their trades, they're like, I think I want to maybe try this path. Do you have any advice for them before or during the process?
I would say either get the book or the online subscription and go through the material and see if it even makes sense to you or if it's even something you want to consider. The only way to really like know is to start studying and see if you like it.
Okay. And did you have any second thoughts, like when you first opened the study material and you were like, oh, this is boring, or did you persevered, of course, but
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not fun, but no, I mean, I've never really had any second thoughts.
okay.
So,
Is your overall long-term goal to open up your own little bookkeeping enrolled agent shop in
yeah,
Evely?
definitely.
Okay.
It would
Yeah.
definitely be like try to work, tax season, then do what I want the rest of the year. So that's the ultimate goal. And then we'll just see how long it takes me to get there.
And you don't have to, the EA is national, right? He doesn't have to like represent in
Correct.
Texas or anything like that. He can go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once you take the first test or one of the first of the three, you have 3 years to do the others. So
Yeah.
you're not like cramming, so you have to get them all within 6 months or a year. You have some time. It used to be 2 years, but now it's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah, but that's for Zoomers, man. You're not gonna take a 3 years. You're gonna do that in 6 months. What is your itinerary? 6 months or something?
Well, the others, considering I'm going to work this tax season for HR Block, uh, I want to have the other 2 tests done by the end of the year next year.
Sweet.
Okay, so you're taking a
Yeah.
year and change.
Yeah, a little bit. Just because I started in kind of like a purgatory to where I was very close, but I was too far away, if that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. I was kind of
Yeah.
like in a limbo state, so I couldn't really get all of them done quickly in a year
Yeah.
or
I mean,
within the year.
I understand you're not Gen X. I understand that. That's all right, but that's pretty good. That's
Parker, one more time.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I think you need to have dogs to
Dogs.
be an enrolled agent. Yeah, not a good enrolled agent lesson.
Actually, Clary, I need another beer. So if you want to hawk something,
Go ahead.
actually, no, Parker's back.
Yeah, he's back.
We'll give another minute.
I do have another question for Parker though.
Oh, go ahead.
Even though you had somewhat of a toe in accounting, do you believe a teachable course hosted by a CPA offered to people, and do you think that might be a profitable or in-demand product out there on the market?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Question for both of you. I thought about that, and Clary, yes, you've talked about it with me. What about instead of like, this is how you do taxes, a teachable course? What if instead I'm like, this is what you need to do to eventually start your own tax practice, be an entrepreneur? Like, would
That's
that
what I
is
thought you were going to start. That's what I thought.
Oh, I thought your idea was me being like, this is what taxes are. This is how you do it. Okay.
No, because the demand obviously, like you might have a fair amount of individual tax questions, but if you look at the majority of the questions you get, it's careers in accounting. I mean, Parker's here because he was interested in a career in accounting. Maybe there might be some individual taxes, but I think there's a ton of courses and books and everything on how to do taxes. And as you said, most people outsource it anyway.
Yeah.
What I think for the benefit of young men like Parker, because Parker, you're what, 20?
22.
Geez, you got a hell of a beard for 22. Young guy like that, I think that's where the market is, and 2, the knowledge is not. And so if you did a thing and, we could follow Parker along and you could use him as an example like, yeah, and he's doing this now, and then there's other people that they're doing that. But that's what I think is it should be a career class more than anything else.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do, man, because I didn't want to get too in the weeds and be like debits and credits, accrual versus cash. I could actually probably put together a course and it's like, this is how you could get started, having your own tax
Right,
preparer.
right. Because
Yeah.
I don't know the background. I could send you a ton of clients to do that. So, but our competition, who's going to finish the course first? I think you will, because I ended up getting a contract I have to work on. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's good, but it's tippy top secret.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Red Hawk because I might be on his stream in a week and he's got a channel. He is also a trades guy and he's also open to tax work. So, dude, I think this is really valuable. Parker, I really appreciate you coming on because, like, the questions that you answered are ones I'm getting when people email me, and I'm kind of like, well, I have to ask, my guy that is going through this process. So, maybe if you're up for it, we'll have you come back on after you've made more progress here, and you can give us an update.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When do you take the next exam?
I'm not sure. I don't have it scheduled yet. I would like not too much farther after the next tax season, but it's supposed to be the second one's supposed to be the harder one because it's business. They say just more people fail it, but I'm hoping no later than like June.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have them back on, Chad, because I think, having someone to look at and other people like, well, what's it like to see someone go through the process would be, very important and vital to other people.
Good stuff. All right. Well, Parker, keep me posted on everything and then we'll bring you back. All right.
All right. Absolutely.
And Parker, save a picture of all the girls that hit you up now because they can smell you're in the enrolled agent program. All right. That's what's really going to give guys the incentive to pursue this certification.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right, man. We'll catch you later. All right.
Yep. Thank
All right.
you.
See you, Parker.
All right.
Bye.
See you. Oops. There we go.
Yeah, one of these days, professional podcast.
I was gonna say,
you'll
man,
get it
I'm
one of
learning
these days.
as I
That's
go.
all right.
Dude, I will be right back. But if you want to talk about anything or hawk anything,
Oh yeah,
now's your
I guess
chance.
so. While you are all gathered here today to worship the Lord, some finance, career, education stuff. Bachelor Pad Economics, the Financial Advice Bible for Men. You can go ahead and do that. And then that's more retirement planning and all that, not so much taxes. If you haven't figured it out already, people who major in the right things ain't poor. And even though you might be an idealistic 16 or 17-year-old and your parents and teachers tell you're going to save the world, you will not. You will serve coffee at a coffee house with your master's in social work. So why don't you avoid the fate of your older brother, your older sister? Get the book Worthless, the Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major, a 160-page pamphlet that costs $15 max, I think, and it will help you prevent you from making a $150,000 mistake. And then, why are you studying accounting? Why are you a nerd? And then you'll be 25, and they'll be like, I can't find a job. Speaking of me, I can't find a job. My life is horrible. Somebody, not me, do something. How not to become a millennial? If you look closely, you'll see all these different pictures of disasters, essentially. And there's I don't know who that is. That's somebody who looks like a millennial, but it's totally not me with a beard and a mustache pasted on. And if you want to avoid the mistakes of the previous generation, so you're not a 37-year-old asking for a bailout living at home with your parents, sexually frustrating all the women in your generation, may I recommend you get this book. It will help you, and especially if you are a millennial and you're still confused as to what's going on, you're not happy with your life, may I recommend you get this. It is pro-millennial. It is not against millennials. It is pro-millennials because this is the first book. This is the first thing in your entire life that didn't lie to you. Did not lie to you. And so, go ahead and get that book. I'm running out of books. The Book of Numbers, you all know that one. So choose your girls wisely. And Curse of the High IQ. If you are smart and people punished you for it, get this book and then learn how everyone else sucks. Stupid people suck. See, what's even worse, normal people are worse than stupid. Stupid people, they're stupid. They can't control it. It's the normal people that think they're so smart because they get on trends and they do what's popular. Oh, I hate those people. Those are the worst. But yeah, stupid people are right. They can't control it, but it's the and that's what they say and sound like. So get the curse of the high IQ.
Well, you guys, I've been excited to try this one. This is called Stereohopic. It's again a Lagunitas one. It's high in alcohol volume and great when I know you don't like IPAs, but this is supposed to be a very hoppy IPA, and it's 7.2%. So,
Hey, do you see in the private chat that Parker provided the link and he bought it through my Amazon affiliate link? Isn't that nice of him to do that?
oh, let me see.
Yeah, do you go to private chat? He
Oh, I
provided
see it.
some,
Yeah.
passkeyonline.com. I don't know if you can show those or put those in the chat room somehow.
Let me see if I can hear. At
I
a
like
bare
the fact
minimum.
I like the fact he uses my Amazon affiliate link. That's very nice of him. That's
So I'll do this. Go here, and when you buy the material, you have to do it through Clary's Amazon affiliate link.
you don't have. I think he did provide the Amazon
Oh,
affiliate.
did
link.
he?
Yeah,
Let me
that's
see.
because that's a pretty lengthy link.
Let me see if I can post that in the chat.
Or people can just search it passkey online.
Let me try this right here. It lets me post it. Well, there's the link. Well, it came out in 2. It was too long. So, yeah, go to Clary's link and his affiliate link, and if you want to get the material, do it through there.
Or if you want to get anything, go to my affiliate link, olderbrother.com/donate, click on the Amazon banner, and then do your shopping. And then I get a 5% cut of everything you buy, and it doesn't cost you anything more.
That's great.
I have so not promoted that at all, and every year I make a couple $1,000 off of it still because of the good men and women who do that out of habit. It's kind of like this, oh, people care. Look at that. Oh, it's nice.
Well, Clary, let's get caught up on super chats. I got to read her
Okay.
email, and then that's about it. I thought maybe Atham would join us, but
Well, he's
don't
a
see him.
busy guy, you know. Speaking of guys going to school.
Oh yeah, and working.
Can you imagine the party we're going to throw when he graduates?
Oh, wherever it is, I'm gonna be
Wherever it
there.
is. Yeah, you might actually fly to a place. Hey, yeah.
I always fly to South
You might fly to a
Dakota.
place that is not Portland or Dallas.
Fort Worth. Can't say Dallas. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Okay. We'll start here.
Dung is fun. $2. Oh, yeah. Here.
Where are your glasses?
They're right here. Sometimes I forget. I should put these on regular. I got to get the non-glare type, but I'm lazy.
So was it the candidate that told you to do this, or
No, I think
no?
she diagnosed it because she also gets those things.
Mhm.
It's great. It's great having a nurse in the crew. Like, hey doc, am I dying? No, you're fine. So yeah, she said she gets them too, and just you don't need less screen time and less sun. And so ever since I got these, I haven't had them. So that's been a good benefit.
Well, you never wore glasses otherwise, right?
No, I had a prescription a while ago, and it was very light, and it didn't do much of anything. And but man, I can't read things on prescription bottles anymore. And I don't know if it's because they made the font smaller, but I'm like, so I'm going to go in and make sure my eyes are all right, and or if I need to get a prescription. But I am not wearing contacts. The GF, she gave me a contact to try and put in one time, and it ended up being a 5-minute disaster. My eye was all red, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to go with glasses, and I don't want to do the Rachel Maddow glasses. I want kind of glasses like yours, a little bit smarter looking, but that's if I need them. Rusty Fuel, $2. Make me a clip of how much an EA can make. That'd be a good video.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about this another time, but I need to start making videos, don't I? Instead of just doing like live chats like this, or no?
You can do whatever you want.
I never thought of it that way.
it would help. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, Elkins minutes or something like that, where you just talk about what an EA makes or something short. Sure, you could do whatever you want. Yeah, you can, but you don't have to. But it would be a good video to put together, and it might make a lot of as long as you don't curse, it might make some advertising dollars if it's a very common search question that most people don't know.
Still haven't been demonetized yet, but probably because I have hardly any subscribers. So.
Wait, are these videos still monetized?
Oh yeah,
With
everything.
all the cursing we do?
Yeah, how does that work?
Really?
Like,
I
why won't they demonetize me?
maybe you're not big enough.
I'm not.
I do know there's an army of human censors that they hire, and maybe
Mhm.
they're more on the larger, they like, well, we can't audit every individual video. So, but you would think with the algorithm, it would pick up curse words and
Yeah, you'd think.
immediately demonetize you then. But
Dude, when I'm on here alone, I curse way more than when I'm on here with
really,
you. Yeah, because I get
oh,
drunk and I'm just like, "Fuck that client." Like, I get animated, man. Um, all right, let's see what the By the way, this is fantastic. This is delicious. Holy shit.
it's
If you guys
really
like
cool, man.
if you guys like citrus hopped IPAs, this is really good.
So, well, how often do they change those labels on the beers?
Well, one thing I like about Lagunitas is that this is
Mm.
a seasonal, like this is just like a temporary thing. They test it out, and if people respond positively, they'll keep it on the market.
You know,
Otherwise,
here's what I recommend doing. I wish I did this in college, but back when they had flyers, because there was no internet, so you wanted to advertise something, you had to put together a flyer. There was some pretty cool artwork on the flyers. And I always thought about saving them when I was doing campus patrol. And I wish I did, because it would have been a hell of a thing. I think, before the IPA bubble ends, you should take some of the artwork off of these bottles and kind of make a canvas or a picture book out of them. So it would make a nice historical piece, because that is quite artistic what they did there.
great when I can't remember what beers you like, but occasionally you'll mention the ones you're drinking on the stream, and I'm like, that sounds pretty tasty. So, scrolling back up.
Joseph Hatchett, $10. Ola, Fast Forward Academy rocks.
It's another study program. A little info about Joseph here. He is also a tax professional, and I may have him on in the next week or two. We've been emailing and we've been talking. So
That reminds me, do you not have a tax professional that is running for public office today? Did he not win the primary?
So he's not in the same county as I. He was unopposed in the primary.
Okay.
He is not expected to win because he's up against a
A
Democrat. But
Democrat, right?
that is the one result I'm actually going to perhaps give a shit about tonight. I'm going
Yeah.
to check. I shouldn't say the county, but I'm going to check and see how they are doing in that county.
Can you forward me and let me know if he wins or loses? Because I'd love
Yeah.
nothing more than to know he threw away a career in accounting and self-employment and a good year of his life campaigning on what is truly a pointless, stupid position. But that I'd
Our
like to know.
dentist friend wants nothing more than for him to get blown out in this thing.
I want him not only to get blown out, I hope his family life is horrible and he lives a miserable life. So I'll add that on top of our friend who's much nicer than me.
Man. Joseph again.
Joe again for $10. Learning the tax field will be mostly on your own unless you have a mentor that's worth their weight or a teachable course available.
Teachable course. He's not too far off with this because at the end of the day, I feel like I worked hard. I got my CPA. I worked in tax for almost a decade. But you know what else I had, Clary?
You had your old man.
Yes, I had my
Mr.
father. So
Elkins.
when I had questions, when I felt like I was stuck, and I admit not everybody has this, but when I really felt like I was like, I need to work this out, I just call my dad.
He is an example of why guys, if you're going to become fathers, please become a good father and help your freaking kid.
Yeah.
Teach them something and, have a profession. You don't have to, but it really would. Like, for example, Parker could teach his kid how to do some electricity down the road.
Yeah.
And your old man obviously taught you good finances and taxes. So yeah.
Great dad. Wouldn't trade him for any dad in the world. We don't get along politically, but
right.
Who cares?
Well,
yeah.
He's wrong on that. But my dad taught me that I'm going to burn in hell. That's what my dad taught me.
Oh, really?
I learned very well. I'm going to burn in hell. Yes.
Well,
yes.
my dad kind of said that because I voted a certain way about 6 years ago. So,
well, if you ever need help, you just have me talk to him, or you could just ask him. So, how are those socialist countries doing?
Ones we used to live in.
Are we going to ask Dad? Hey, do you want to go to? Here's one you could play on your dad. Okay. He'll say, Dad, I think we should do some traveling together. And you'd be like, what, really? Yeah. We should go over to China. Wow, we could look at the mass graves at your socialist ideology of 100 million people without war, just killed. Imagine. Or would you prefer Russia? Which one would you wear? Holodomor or Mao Zedong's China? Which one would you prefer?
I've always wanted to go to Brazil. Here things are very stable there right now.
Yeah. Hey, Venezuela's great. Let's go there. Joe Hatchett again. $5 context if gap accrual versus cash. And all of the rules will be the shortfall of the EA. Corporate accounting experience is key for business filing.
He's correct. When you're getting to the more complex returns, like the S corp return I do for you, the partnership returns, you do have to have some real accounting knowledge here, and that means that if you didn't get your degree in accounting or don't have a lot of experience with it, that could be a weak spot. But the thing is, Parker with H&R Block, I think he'll be okay with this. I do.
Okay.
But Joe's not wrong there. Like you have to be cognizant that there are differences between GAAP accounting and cash accounting. And Clary, do you know what tax returns are based on?
They're based on cash and accrual. They're based on well, it's based on whatever method you file as, though. Technically,
it's cash. Yeah, you're correct, but it's almost always cash. I mean, the vast majority of corporations do it cash wise. There's just more you can do with that, and that's how the IRS prefers it, frankly, like cash accounting. When the money comes in is when you're supposed to claim it. There's receivables and there's things like that, timing differences. But
when you have a taxable event is what you're saying. I think, man, like when I file my tax return, I'm like, well, I kind of do cash myself, but
no. This is just like when you're corporation, big corporations type thing. Yeah. So he's actually right about that, but it's not a big deal.
I was not allowed into the big corporations. I was too smart.
Now you have your own big corporation.
Hey, real quick, have you seen this is the accounting show. Have you seen the TikTok video of the girl doing my day at Deloitte? I am so happy I never got hired at any of these back then it was the big six. What the hell's going on? I thought that was supposed to be a professional organization. Is the big four just a joke now and it's a political organ? And then there's like only a hardcore group of people that do all the work?
Okay, so in light of with this whole Elon Musk thing, him taking over Twitter, kicking everybody out, which I love, by the way. There's been all these videos about people who work for LinkedIn and these various things where they basically go there and do nothing but have coffee and it's like adult daycare.
Yeah.
Yes. So Deloitte, I saw the video you're referencing here. Deloitte, it's not like that at the big four. You actually have to work your ass off at the big four. And this includes people in marketing and I guess HR. I don't know if that's a real job, but I guess in HR they work. So in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I did not feel that was an accurate representation of Deloitte or the big four. It probably
so that was
just,
Bipsy being stupid on TikTok. Okay. All right.
But I admit I could be wrong about that, but big four don't fuck around. They won't let you get away with that as a job. So
yeah, I just looked at it and I'm like, okay, so it's adult daycare now. And but that may be more of an accurate representation of tech companies.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about tech companies in all honesty, but to me that seems legit. They have these like sales assistants or whatever that don't actually do anything. They're all, pretty girls that are just running around.
It reminds me of the late 90s where they'd get like some funding for their .coms and all people would do was fuck around and play games. They wasn't actually making any progress or programming or something like that. I mean, I remember there were ping pong tables and pool tables at some startup tech companies I used to work security for the buildings for. I'm like, well, is there any work actually getting? And of course there was never any profit and they all went away. So I'm wondering if we're just seeing the latest incarnation of this. Because is LinkedIn or Twitter or any of these places profitable?
I doubt it. I mean, hell, Twitter just got half their workforce laid off by Elon this past week.
Yeah, but before he bought them, were they even profitable? We don't even know if YouTube is profitable.
I got to tell you this real fast. I'm actually buddies with, and I went to undergrad, so 20 years ago, buddies with a guy who's a partner at one of the big four. And you know what he told me? We were shooting the shit about this. He goes,
"Said you dodged a bullet."
Well, he tells me that all the time, but he also said, Clary, you know why some of these tech firms and certainly the big four, you know why they've got like ping pong tables and pool tables and foosball and shit out there? You know why they put them there?
Tax deduction?
No, they put them there because anybody who's actually using that shit, they know to question whether they need to be working at the company. So
Really?
it's working as like a double agent. Yeah.
Oh, very curious.
Yeah.
Very
So it
curious.
basically tells management who should not even be around, essentially.
Oh,
Never
interesting.
use that shit if you guys are working at firms like this.
Okay. All right. Joseph Hatchet, $2. Parker is killing it. Semper Fi, bud.
I
Was in the
love
Army?
what Parker's doing. Yeah. Yeah, Parker was in the Army. Yeah, and
Good.
so was Joe, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we talked about his background. Joe again?
Joe, man, I want Joe. Come over to the Clary podcast and hang out.
Well, I'm going to have him on my show pretty soon.
He doesn't have to be on the show. He just has to do the super chats. My God, $5 again. Chad, he may be better off learning in his own rather than some of the folks at H&R Block.
I mean, I think a combination of both would be pretty good. Just because he has to learn the basics, walk you through putting together a 1040. But Joe's not wrong here. Like, he does need to do some stuff on his own. And Parker said that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be practicing on his own.
Can you imagine Parker 2 years from now compared to us when we were 26?
God, dude, I was a mess when I was in my mid. Well, he's 22, so he's going to be.
I know. So 4 years. 4 years
Holy
from now,
shit.
he'll be, he'll have a lot of money and he'll know how to wire a house. And
I was working for the federal government when I was his age. I was as blue pill as it gets. I mean, good Lord.
I think I was working for a .com or some crap bank and still working
in
security
Wyoming?
and teaching. No, that was 10 years ago. I was in my 30s. 26. What the hell was I know I was working security. I know I was teaching dance classes. God, dude, I think it was a substitute teacher too back when I was 26. Yeah, I was a substitute teacher for a while. That's a waste of time. Holy cow. Yep. Yep. You can't kill the kids. You can't kill the teachers. No one's going to back you up. Like, by the time I was done substitute teaching, like, I wasn't going to renew the license or whatever it was. I just show up. Because anytime you try and discipline the kids, the admin comes down on you, like, and so I just show up. I'm like, okay, kids, here's what you get to do. We play music, and kids were running around, going chaotic, and I didn't care, and I got paid. So it's
actually a good point there. Great one.
Cynical Libertarian Society says, hanging up on Clary, best move ever. Yes, that's
Joe again.
Joe Hatchet, $5. Do you like Voodoo Ranger IPA?
I do. It's the same company that does Fat Tire. Are they called New Belgium? I think they are. It's a Colorado-based beer. And great one.
It's in Fort College where great one. Yeah, if I walk past the brewery.
Great one. I think you like this beer, but correct me if I'm wrong. So, yes.
Great one loves everything about Fort Collins.
He talks about it a lot.
Oh, he's so fond of Fort Collins. What? Where's the 20? Who is Joe? Joe. Oh, wow.
He's a very generous dude.
Yeah. Tucson, the desert Portland.
This is where his practice is. He's out in Tucson. Yeah, because that was the first thing I asked him about. Was like, well, where are you located? And so he's out there in the desert. Is it really as bad as Portland, Joe?
I didn't see any white people shit in the streets in Tucson. I mean, there's a rough area, but there's some homeless, but I don't know, maybe things have changed in the year and a half I've been there.
I've never been to Tucson. I've only been to Phoenix.
One of my favorite hikes is out there, Sabino Canyon.
Yeah,
I maybe I just haven't been to the right areas of Tucson, but it was not the cleanest, but it definitely wasn't as bad as like Tacoma. I mean,
Tacoma. Oh, TJ Martinell hit me up. I'm going to be helping out with his taxes today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
X-Van, $5. Voodoo Ranger 7% is the IPA gateway drug.
See, he's not wrong because it's really tasty. And, New Belgium's a very good brewing company there. So it turns people on. Not great one. Clearly the great one is too sophisticated to ever enjoy anything with, like, hops. He likes the great one. If you're still here, tell me.
Plymouth Gin Sailor Strength. That's what he likes to drink.
Oh, okay. I'll have to Google that later.
Cynical Libertarian Society. You want to get demonetized? I could do that for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are we caught up here? Nope, we got a couple more.
BFC Z8 Nap, $5. Chad, if you could do it over again, what career would you pick?
I would have chosen to Self-published books giving people advice about what degrees to get, and then self-publish a book about, even though we're in the decline, ways you can enjoy it. And there's a particular chapter I like called Plunder. That was probably my favorite chapter of the entire
Mhm.
discourse.
Mm.
Then I would start a YouTube channel, and then about 8.5 years ago, I would create a compelling consulting service on that channel by using a curse word.
Right.
And I would create my own website. I would not hire a professional. I would do it on my own. And that is what I would do. I
That's what
would
you'd do.
that
That's would there be anything you'd really do aside from accounting? Like,
really do. That's a great question. God, I never even thought about it. I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. The only other thing I can think of is, I feel like financial planners kind of have it made because they don't really do any work. They just kind of put everything on autopilot,
right.
but they actually get paid, a good
Yes.
amount of money. So you do no work, but you're paid commission. So I guess I could have been a financial planner because you get to be pretty lazy. Other than that, I kind of like what I'm doing. Do you have an answer for this, or
Me? Nuclear engineer. Would have gone.
really?
As always, yeah, I would have gone in the military. It was economics or nuclear engineering, and because I love physics, I would have gone military, done my 20, GI Bill, nuclear engineer, and then just, I don't know, nuclear power plants. I would have no problems working for foreign countries, wherever I would. And maybe because of my entrepreneurial streak, maybe I would have developed Mr. Fusion or something from Back to the Future, or something I don't know, but that's a big speculation on a 25-year path I didn't take.
What type of engineering is Atham doing again? I drew a blank.
Chemical.
Okay.
Chemical engineering. One of the harder ones.
That's really hard.
Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy was too short for the big six. Not a coincidence.
Became the big six, then the big five, then the big four.
The big four. Joseph Hatchett again for $5. Best accounts I have met were big four or regional firm auditors. And those are not the pretty ones, right? The pretty ones or the pretty girls are the auditors.
All the pretty women are in audit. No disrespect to any females listening to this who are in big four tax, but we didn't have the good looking women. I'm sorry. We just didn't.
I wonder if the GF was an auditor.
She would, if she was in tax, she wouldn't have pursued the career that she was in now. So she had to have been, she would
in
have.
Audit. Okay, well, it makes sense.
You get pretty pigeonholed when you do tax. Not that it's a bad thing, but
right.
Yeah.
BFC Zap and Nap. $5. Corporate America is just daycare for boss girls with over sense of importance and no real skills. I don't know. I haven't been in corporate America in so long.
I haven't been in corporate America in 12 years, so I don't really. Well, I did do a stint one summer. Remember, I used to take those engagements, but that doesn't count when you're a contractor. You can just say fuck it and not show up if you don't like it. So,
like maybe large corporate America, but when I worked in small corporate America, it wasn't daycare for girl bosses. It was, to be all perfectly honest, it was a bunch of dumbass middle-aged white dudes who were trying to dude bro it and avoid work. That's what it. But that was banking. That's all of banking. So
that had to have been what, 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well, my start was 20. Well, I was 18 and as an intern technically. So, but yeah, I mean that 2-decade career roughly from 18 to 38, 37. Yeah, it really, that's all banking was a bunch of dude bros, predominantly white, but then again, it was in Minnesota, of a bunch of boomers who brought you the housing crisis and the Asian currency crisis. I mean, it's just lazy people who didn't want to work. So. But I don't know, maybe I kind of dodged a bullet there. I did work at Wells Fargo,
right?
But that I was so lowly ranked, and that's such a big machine. I didn't see the managerial cat fights or what was going on up on top of the command ship. So BFC again. I'm 24 in accounting undergrad, really thinking about the EA. Do it, yeah, absolutely.
Do it. If you don't want to go ahead and get your CPA, which you'd need a master's for at this point, just do the EA. If you want to do tax.
Cynical libertarian. Man, he's not even paying for these.
He doesn't need to.
Free platform. You just let him right in here, say whatever he wants. If it's
great one and he's making comments like this.
Cappy at 26. Sex with men in alleys for drug money. Yes, along with the STDs I all got. Yeah, the great one must have gotten some different information than what I put out there. Monero Mateo, $5. Great stream as always. Need a whiskey to try out, especially as we approach tax season. Take your suggestion. Hey, hang on. Let me ask the GF. Let me ask her what a fair. She's an expert. Hang on.
Okay. I'll just kind of. Great one says no. Yes to Plymouth Gin. No to the Sailor Strength. Okay. Super pilotish. That was a funny comment. It's a sports ball shirt. It was given to me. Sports ball. I'm definitely feeling these beers. Dre for $2. Thoughts on the UK pilots that sold out for 200K? What's that about? I have no idea what that's about. Joseph. I'll save this one for when he gets back. Great one is correct. Chad, if not a CPA, male stripper. Oh, man. Great one. At some point, I'm curious about your thoughts about South Dakota women because it doesn't sound pretty.
All right. She recommends for the introductory, not Canadian Windsor, but someone who's about to be inducted into the world of whiskey and scotch would be Stranahan's Whiskey out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay. You don't drink at all, right? You don't.
Not anymore. No, it kind of sucks.
Okay.
And did we take you to the whiskey bar when you were in South Dakota or no?
No, I don't think we went there. We went
There's
to
a
a bunch
new
of
whiskey
places.
bar. It's gorgeous. I'm like, man, I really ought to. But
is it in Rapid City or further out?
Rapid City proper, yeah, downtown.
Oh,
Rapid
yeah, we didn't
City.
go there.
Yep, where all the action is, Chad. Where all the action.
All the action is crumble cookie. I read this one while you were gone. Do you know what this is about?
Thoughts on the UK pilots that sold out for 200,000? No, I don't. Maybe it was a buyout or something, or they said we'll take the vaccine because maybe the UK pilots are required to have the vaccine. They said no, and they said, well, we'll pay you 200,000. They said okay.
I'm just checking the comment. I don't see anything. Oh, so this is the last super chat. I want to make sure you were here for it.
Honest to God. Joe Hatchett, $20. I get half of these, by the way, just so you know. I get half of them. So Joe Hatchett, $20. Could you imagine Cappy working at Starbucks? Oh my God.
No, I could not.
Chad, who do you think? Because I don't know the answer is. Who would I kill first? The employees or the customers? Which one do you think I'd kill first?
I think you would kill your coworkers first, man, because this is a job Cuddlewooks used to have.
I don't know. I have a respect for the baristas because they're the ones showing up and doing the job. I've never had a problem. I think I'd probably kill the customers first, but the employees, the coworkers would not be too far behind. I would pay for him to get a job there for a week as a social experiment. I would probably even do that just to relearn patience and discipline. But
I don't know if you'd last a week, dude. In all honesty,
dude, I wouldn't last a week at a bank anymore.
Great one. We'll have to do this at some point. We might have to. I won't monetize it, but yeah, we'll get you on.
I'll read this for those who have the MP3. Everyone asks Chad when he's going to have the great one on his podcast. Yeah, when are you going to have the great one on the podcast?
You know my answer to everything, right?
Soon.
That, I believe, is it with the super chats. So, Clary, I think you've already hawked everything, right? So you're good to go?
Pretty much, yeah. No, I didn't. For those of you who want to get your financial act together, Achieving Financial Excellence, my teachable class. Do you know what's the difference between my teachable classes and yours?
You've actually done it, and I haven't.
Mine exists, right? See, yeah. Okay, so there's the that Achieving Financial Excellence is always open for enrollment. So if you want to get serious about your finances, please do that. And unlike accounting, which is not to besmirch accounting, finance is a different beast. There's a lot of philosophy and theory in there. And if you do not have a good, solid philosophical understanding of what the role and purpose of money and wealth is in your life, you will fail. So please go and take that course so you stop spending money on crap you can't afford.
All right. Well, you guys, so I'm actually traveling a week from today. I'm heading back down to the Southern Command. So next stream is going to be a week from tomorrow. And great one, you were complaining on your stream that you're usually working Tuesdays, even though you made this one. So it'll be Wednesday next week. So I think Joe, I'm going to see if you're available next Wednesday, and Clary, of course, you're always welcome to join whenever you're free. But you play poker, I think you said, on Wednesdays. But if you're free, otherwise, you always have an open invite.
Hit
So.
me up like the day before, and I will know, because I don't even know. I think I only know it's Tuesday because it's voting day. Hey, can we? I don't know if we can look that guy up. I'm wondering.
Which one?
I don't know. Hang on, let's take a real quick look. Voting results. Is it a red wave or not? Senate looks like it's thing. Total seats 1, no election. Total seats 1. It doesn't look like there's anything.
Isn't it too
really
early
wrong.
to figure all this shit out?
Yeah, I thought maybe there'd be a early reporting on the East Coast.
Mm.
And like, oh my God, it's a wave or something like that. But I truly don't care. I truly, Americans deserve Democrats. Americans absolutely deserve Democrats. I hope you all get UBI and free daycare and everything. And I'll just sit there in my little country that has electricity as I sip my hot tea and watch your failing on the news. It'll be wonderful.
My vote meant nothing here, and I voted today anyway. So, Clary, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Parker, thank you for coming on. It'll be really valuable for people. And Clary, do you want to take us out? And you know how to do it, right?
Toodles.
We should hang out when, Clary?
Soon.